New York City, the entertainment capital of the world. This city can either make you or run right over you. When that opportunity comes knocking, will you seize the moment? This is more than just entertainment. This is professional wrestling. Come feel the passion, the emotion, the experience when Impact Wrestling starts a new era with 3 historic nights of televised events.
Experience Impact Wrestling live at the Manhattan Center, January 7th, 8th, and 9th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
You already know Kowloon Restaurant, established in 1950 and spanning 4 generations, serves a multi-Asian menu. Did you also know that Kowloon Restaurant is New England's premier Asian dining and entertainment complex, serving Cantonese, Szechuan, Thai, and Polynesian cuisine? And did you know that Kowloon Restaurant is also the home of the finest Japanese sushi? If you haven't dined at Kowloon Restaurant lately, then you simply haven't dined at Kowloon. Kowloon Restaurant, Route 1 North in Saugus.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Harley Race.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
This is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, welcome to another installment of the History of Wrestling in New England. I'm Dan Marotti of the Boston Wrestling Club and the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Before we take a look back at the great history of professional wrestling here in the Northeast, I want you to keep in mind that, as always, we produce these videos absolutely free for fans around the corner and around the world to enjoy and learn from. We have big plans for 2015, from live wrestling events and videos to cutting-edge news and history. Last year alone, Carlito, Al Snow, Vader, Demolition, WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas were all here in MWF Studios. We were involved in fans being able to meet Hulk Hogan and Rob Van Dam, and tons more planned for the new year. In order to make all of our plans a reality, we need as much fan support as humanly possible. You can help the cause by simply hitting the like, share, and subscribe buttons on YouTube. Even more important, to have these superstar guest autograph sessions and even more episodes of Wrestling Insiders with John Cena Sr. Donate what you can to the cause. Let's be the PBS of professional wrestling. Fans from anywhere in the world can donate any amount, 50 cents, $1, $5, $10, to our PayPal email address, bw@bostonwrestling.com. And there's a new donate button on the front page of the bostonwrestling.com super site. Every dollar raised goes into our 2015 endeavors for your enjoyment. Today, we flash back to the World Wrestling Federation live at the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, January the 9th, 1993. What a great event this was. I was there live and in person. It was a matinee event, really cool. I was in the 8th grade then, so I was able to go in with my friends without the parents. You know what that's like. We have a little footage via YouTube right now of the main event. We'll talk more about that in a minute. We'll run through the results. We want you to enjoy a little Boston Garden flair as we talk about the great history of wrestling in New England, specifically Boston. Let's go through the results of the afternoon. It was Crush defeating Skinner in the opening contest. Crush was involved in the beginnings of a feud with Doink the Clown that led to their matchup at WrestleMania 9 in Las Vegas just a couple of months later. The veteran Terry Taylor was back. He came away with the win over Jason Knight. Jason Knight obviously became a famous manager in ECW to the fans of that promotion. World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions Money Incorporated, that's $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and IRS, defeated the Nasty Boys. The Undertaker, with our dear friend the late Paul Bearer, defeated Papa Shango. Bam Bam Bigelow, victorious over the Massive Typhoon. And in the main event, it was an Iron Man match with the World Wrestling Federation World Champion Bret Hitman Hart defeating the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who had Bobby the Brain Heenan in his corner. 3 falls to 2 in that 16-minute match. Wrestling fans, that was a memorable one. You had the diehard NWA fans, or diehard wrestling fans in general, that would have loved to have seen the Nature Boy come away with the win. This was the last appearance ever for the Nature Boy in the Boston Garden. Disappointing as that was, he wasn't in what was the World Wrestling Federation for very long. He debuted in the summer of 1991, and he departed later in the month of this event. There was a deal between the Nature Boy and Vince McMahon that if he was not presented in a certain way, he was able to opt out of his contract and return to WCW, which he did. Bret Hart, this was the beginning of his big run in WWF, WWE. Bobby the Brain Heenan, an interesting side note on this one, he was not an active manager at this point. With it being an Iron Man match to try and help get the fans in the door, Bobby Heenan was presented as Flair's cornerman. He was not technically a manager. He sat in a chair for the duration of the hour. But it was really cool to see Bobby Heenan back in Boston. Certainly, in my opinion, the greatest manager in wrestling history. And we don't get house shows like this anymore, being non-televised events. To fans not familiar with that terminology, Boston used to get live WWF events every month at one point, or even sometimes if they missed a month or two in the summer because of the heat. You're talking 10 or 11 events here. It was really cool. My favorite time as a wrestling fan, obviously. Everyone always looks back at their youth as being the most exciting time, but the 1980s into the 90s boom was a cool thing, and to be able to pretty much guarantee that one Saturday a month you're going to get live wrestling just a few train stops away, what more could you ask for? Again, I have fond memories of this event in particular. It was right around this time that I became friends with wrestling historian The Jackal and Pat Doyle. They had the Wrestling Insiders program of their own in my hometown of Melrose, Massachusetts. That would let me in the door of television production, and later in 1993, becoming a part of the genre I love so much with the Boston Bad Boy Tony Rumble's Century Wrestling Alliance, who ran its first event in October of 1993. So there's a little bit more history behind that event. It drew very well at the time. WWE was hurting a little bit in that time. So there's a little history behind the event. WWF, it wasn't their most profitable time, unfortunately. And they were headed in a whole new direction with Bret Hart as the champion, as I noted. Undertaker obviously has gone on to such a legendary career. You know, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, he was a main eventer himself for so many years in the WWF. He was part of the successful tag team endeavor with IRS. Bam Bam Bigelow, unfortunately, he passed away. He went on to main event at WrestleMania 11 in Hartford, Connecticut 2 years later. So a lot of superstars on that card. A lot of memories from that card. Again, fans, we thank you for tuning in. What about this? John Cena Sr. is traveling the globe, so I'll take his spot here. Get ready for WWE's return to the Northeast live beginning Friday, January the 23rd at the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton, New Jersey, as well as the Izod Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Saturday, January the 24th. These loaded events feature John Cena, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, and more. Sunday, January the 25th, it's the 2015 edition of the Royal Rumble. It'll be the final chapter of the John Cena and Brock Lesnar saga for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, along with the 30-man over-the-top rope Royal Rumble. The winner gets a first-class ticket to the main event of WrestleMania 31. Monday, January 26th, Raw emanates from the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut, with all of the top superstars slated to appear, even a rare appearance by Brock Lesnar. Tuesday, January 27th, SmackDown is back at the TD Garden right here in Boston. Big bonus main event for the fans after the cameras stop rolling. It'll be an 8-man war with John Cena, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose teaming up to face Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Kane, and The Big Show in an exclusive match for the fans here in Boston. Friday, February the 28th, the immortal Hulk Hogan leads an all-star lineup into the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York, New York. Friday night, March the 6th, WWE is back at the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York with John Cena, Seth Rollins, Kane, Ryback, Rusev, and more. Saturday, March the 7th, the WWE Road to WrestleMania tour continues into the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. For complete ticket and event information, visit WWE.com. Don't miss WWE when it comes to your area live. As we invite you to check out some of the great folks and the videos and plugs we have here daily, I want to keep in mind that this coming weekend, our friends at Fan for Life Wrestling will be bringing you one of the sport's all-time greats, Barry Windham. He's headed to the heart of Four Horsemen country. You can meet him prior to nights of All-Star Wrestling this Saturday, January the 9th in Morgantown, North Carolina, then Sunday, January the 10th in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Barry will be available for autographs and posed photos, plus you can check out a great selection of wrestling merchandise at the Fan for Life Wrestling booth. Fan for Life Wrestling is going to be all over the Northeast this year and beyond. Head on over to the link below, facebook.com/Fan for Life Wrestling LLC, for complete details on this and all the great appearances they have coming up. Create some pro wrestling memories in 2015.
30 years in the making. Iconic moments take on a new life in stunning images, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews.
One of the most incredible nights I've ever had.
On that night, there's nobody else I could have done it with but Scott Hall.
Welcome to WrestleMania!
30 years of WrestleMania. Available September 15th. Pre-order now online or wherever books are sold.